What is good, people? What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. After doing a Premier League, um, Premier League preview with my guy Andy not too long ago, we are doing a Manchester United preview with my brother Brian. Everyone, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Shout out Nick Fadley, much love, brother. Shout out to Elite Baller and everyone else who will be joining us today. My guy Brian, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I think it's been a while since I've been excited for the Premier League season as a Manchester United fan.
Mhm.
Simply because we've actually done what I consider good business this year. And we've
Mhm.
had four players in before the start of the season. So
Mhm.
I'm pretty excited, even though we have someone, Euro got injured, I'm still pretty excited to see what Manchester United can do
Yeah,
under Eric Ten Hag and the new Ineos project this season.
yeah, man. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I've heard a lot of pundits like kind of shitting on our window, and I'm like, what are y'all missing here? Like, De Ligt is a good player, Mazraoui good player. Like, they're all upgrades on what we've had. Like every player we brought in is an upgrade on the positions we had previously, and on top of that, you know, we have a new structure, new like we've completely changed the backroom staff, all these different things. Like it's exciting times. It really is exciting times. So for those joining, this is going to be Manchester United based show and just talk how we feel about the season, what we predict where we're gonna finish, all that good stuff. Challenges, new signings, whatever the case may be. Make sure to get your thoughts in the comments. I'll start us off though with where we left off, where I left off with my guy Andy. Shout out to him. But this was my Premier League table. I want to share this with you, Brian.
Okay.
This was my Premier League table.
Hmm.
Um, Interesting.
Interesting.
Let me let, let
Interesting.
me let me get your thoughts on this. Let me
I
get
just
your
see.
thoughts
I've
on this
just seen
table.
Liverpool. I've just seen Liverpool.
Yes,
Honestly.
Liverpool seventh. Yes,
Oh my God!
Liverpool seventh. I'm calling it now. They're gonna tank. I'm calling the tank right now.
Wow.
No
Well,
no
since
Zubamendi, no party.
you know, since that's the most shocking one, I'm going to start with that one because I've had not really a bone to pick with Liverpool, but kind of like the way Liverpool and the pundits have analyzed Liverpool this season has been kind of, I don't want to say unfair, but they haven't really they've done Klopp a disservice, right? Because
Hmm.
Klopp is a generational manager, whether people want to agree with it or not. He is. He won a Premier League during the dominance of Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. He played fantastic football. He won a Champions League. There's very few managers that have won the Premier League and Champions League at one club. And you're
Hmm.
telling me, not that Slot is a bad manager, but the way people are acting like they're just gonna compete for the league again, it's not that simple. You saw towards the end of the season the toll it was taking on Klopp. Mohamed
Hmm.
Salah and him were falling out a little bit. You can see Van Dijk is not who he used to be. And you're telling me they're going to learn a whole new system without a key DM.
Hmm.
I don't think they'll finish seventh, but I also don't think they're going to compete for the Premier League.
Hmm.
So, you
So
know,
here's the thing. Here's the two red flags, and you kind of touched on it, right? The Klopp factor. Like, I think Klopp is right there with some of the greatest managers we've ever seen. I hate to say it,
yeah.
but it's just a reality. You know what I'm saying? And no signings, none. Like no signings coming through the door is a major red flag to me. Trent, Salah, Van Dyke, all being having 1 year left on their contract is a major red flag to me. All of these things heading into the season. That's why I have Chelsea eighth as well, because I think a lot of people
Ooh,
are, you know, um,
Maresca.
really, yeah. There's too much turnover. That they're the opposite of Liverpool, where they have 40 players, right? They have too much volume in their squad, and I think it's going to be a problem. And Liverpool just haven't freshened up. They haven't, you know what I mean? Obviously, a new manager, but I don't think that's enough.
Yeah.
Nick Fowler says number 1 to 7 is almost the same as mine.
Let me go from the bottom up from the relegation, then we'll get to the top and see if I
Hmm.
agree with your picks. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Forest, Brentford, Southampton. I don't think Brentford are going to get relegated, if I'm being honest with you. I
Okay.
just think, um, what's their manager's name again?
Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank has them just pretty solid. They might not do as good as the last 2 seasons, but I think they're still going to stay in the Premier League.
Mm.
Um, Everton is the one that I'm kind of like, especially if they get a points reduction. I just think they've been circling that drain for a while. They've been
Yeah,
circling that drain of falling off for a while,
they
and it's
wouldn't
always
have
a.
though. They wouldn't have though if not for that points deduction. Like they would have been comfortably safe
I know, but
last
they
season.
haven't really added any quality in their team, and everybody else is getting better. Like everybody
Mm.
else keeps getting better. I still think Fulham is gonna be better. West Ham are gonna be better. Crystal Palace is
Mm.
gonna be better. Brighton for sure are gonna be better. I think
Mm.
Wolves, their manager is better than Sean Dyche. I'm sorry. Bournemouth
Mm.
better than Sean Dyche. I'm sorry. Now it's between Everton and the relegated sides for me, and I still think
Mm.
Brentford are better than Everton on their day.
Mm.
There's just so much negativity around Everton, and that translates to the team. It translates to
Mm.
the coach, and I feel like as if they're going to be weighed down. So for me, Nottingham Forest, no. I think I would have Everton. I think Leicester. I don't think that's even though they got promoted as they won the championship, right?
Mm.
I think it's gonna be for me. My bottom three would be Everton, Leicester City, and Southampton. I think those three would be the three that I'd have to go down.
Okay.
That
Okay.
would be my relegation side.
Yeah, my relegation predictions were quite bold. I'm predicting two clubs to stay up. I just think that Leicester have a Premier League side. Like they they never should have been relegated. Let's be real. Like that was a huge, just it was a shock. I was shocked that they got relegated. And I still think they've retained some of those players that helped them, that were in the Premier League, and
Hmm.
they've added a couple pieces here and there. So I think and Ipswich, I'm doing the hope thing. They've been on such a good run for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like McKenna's a good manager, all that good stuff. Um,
I
but
don't know.
yeah,
Leicester and Everton, they're in trouble though with the FFP, and both sides are being looked at possibly getting points deductions.
oh again,
That's
okay, so I didn't know that.
Leicester City. That's why I'm like, I don't know for two of them. They would be my bottom half simply because I
Mm,
just think other teams are better. Like if you look with Everton, they're not. Who would you say they're comfortably better than outside of the bottom three teams that just got promoted? I
mm,
don't really see that many. I think Wolves just have a little bit more quality in the attack. Still with
mm,
Cunha, and a couple of other players they have there. I just think
mm.
Everton's just they've made some signings. I don't really think they've moved the needle. They sold Onana. I don't know. They just look like if they're not a modern Premier League team. They look like a Premier
No,
League
I hear
team
it.
that should have
I
existed
hear
in
it.
2011, 2013.
I hear
I
it.
don't
I hear
think
it.
they
I
are
hear it.
really up there. So
Yeah,
so we'll see.
I think it's gonna be shit house
Sean
football.
Dyche.
I think Sean Dice is a good manager. Listen, like he's not my cup of tea, but
Yeah.
I think he knows how to stay. He knows how to stay up. He knows he's been through the battle before. You know what I mean? So although albeit I think he is a bit archaic, I do think he gets a tune out of his players. Right? I think he's overachieved with most of the squads he's been given. Granted, it's been nasty football, but you know, what do you think about United at third? Where would you put United?
Where would I put United? My only worry with United is what happens with the Europa League. Um,
Mm,
if we go far in the competition, I mean, we kind of managed it this season in Ten Hag's first season. We didn't go past the quarterfinals, but I didn't feel like we were going to drop out of top four, even though we're doing good in the Europa League. So
mm.
it's tough. It's really tough. I really want to see that midfielder come in. I really want to
Yeah, I
see
think
Ugarte
it'll
come
happen.
in.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I think we'll get a midfielder.
If Ugarte comes in, we get top four, right? I think we'll
Mm,
come fourth. If we just add that extra bit of depth with maybe another midfielder with Sander Burge. I think that will be, we can get third. A lot of people are going to think, okay, these two signings going to make that bit of a difference.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes, it makes a
absolutely.
huge difference because we can rotate. If someone gets suspended, you remember that, that first season, Casemiro got suspended twice. That hit our
Mhm.
season pretty hard. So things like that. If we have that quality in depth in midfield, we can rest Kobe. We can bring him on. We can take him off. That will have a huge impact to the rest of the season. So for me, if we make those two midfield signings, that place is not a crazy shout. It's maybe a bit of a stretch. I'd be comfortable at fourth
Yeah, it's a
for
stretch.
United this season.
It's a stretch.
So
I've been saying fifth all summer. Trust me.
yeah,
So this is a stretch. This is heart over head.
I got
Absolutely.
you.
But I'll live and die by that by the end of the season. But yeah, let's talk about. I mean, let's talk about Manchester United, man.
What do you think about the
Obviously,
window?
I think it's been I honestly think it's been a pretty excellent window, excellent first window for Ineos. I think they I've said that you've heard me say this on stream a million times. They don't get punked in the market. Don't get punked in the
Yeah,
market. Don't get and they didn't, right? Delict for 45 million is good business. Uh Mazraoui
for what,
for
15 plus
for
5?
15 plus 5 is great business. We sold AWB for what, 15?
15?
So we just upgraded a player, right? Obviously we took a loss on AWB. That's not their problem, right?
I don't think we took
Um,
a loss because he stayed for the duration of his contract pretty much, and we got 15 million on him on his last year. So if anything,
yeah,
we broke even.
broke even. Yeah.
Still good business.
Yeah. So I think the window is what's giving me optimism. I think if Ten Hag if he can keep the team shape, just if he can get that right, if he can find the right team shape and find the right combination to keep the team shape right,
Yeah,
um, I think we can have a good season. But it's a lot to ask because he has not shown that he knows how to make this team work and pick the right players in midfield and pick the right players up top. So
I think
that's where
last season
I'm.
was pretty scary. You know, as a United fan, is because we went from such a good finishing point in the first season, and last season we just crashed. So
Mhm,
I just have I have that fear from last season. As why did you go in this direction? Why did you play single pivot? You know,
mhm,
I know you wanted to have Kobe be part of the team, and he got injured. And when he came back, our form started to change around a little bit. But
mhm,
I don't know. I think I've seen some really good signs in preseason, even against Manchester City. I've seen some pretty good signs. We actually played football.
mhm,
Um, so for me, it's how he can manage his players, how he can put together the right profiles, especially in attack. If Marcus Rashford is having a bad game, are you going to sub him off? You know, things like that. Getting the right impact from the right players. If you can do that, I think we can have a good season. But we can't go into another season where Rashford is having a stinker and he doesn't come off. You
mhm,
know, like he needs to make those changes. He needs to be braver with his substitutions. He needs to be smarter with his substitutions. Um, he needs to be able to be the difference maker for us this season because we don't have that Wayne Rooney like figure, Mohamed Salah like figure, Eden Hazard like figure in our team. That is
right.
like, yeah, Man United are stinking it out. Someone is just going to win the game on their own.
Mhm,
Somebody might step up this season. Don't get me wrong. Bruno Fernandez just got a new contract. Maybe he's highly motivated this season and he just goes crazy because when he came on in that Community Shield, the first half was poor, but that second half when he started with that banger of a goal, that would have been
mhm,
incredible. If we
mhm,
get that Bruno Fernandez this season, that's scoring goals like that and just impacting the team left and right, then your prediction might look pretty strong. So things like
mhm.
that just need to go in our favor. Bruno Fernandez having a strong season will be huge. So I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah,
That balance with the midfield has to come though. We need someone.
that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
to be fair, Casemiro didn't look too bad against
He
Manchester
looked
City.
good. He looked good, but again, we and here's the thing: we packed the midfield. Like, yeah,
True.
everyone's like, oh yeah, we played the 4-2-2-2. Yeah, cool, I get that. But the reality is, we played with four midfield players.
Hmm.
We play with four midfield players. Mount, Bruno, our midfield players, attacking midfield players, but still, like Mount is very positionally aware. I thought he, you know, pressed well, all those good things. And then Kobe and Casim, like that's a good, solid base, right? But again, if we're gonna do this whole Bruno, Casemiro, Kobe thing,
No, that's not gonna.
that's where Casemiro is gonna be exposed, right?
Yeah.
But if you ask Casemiro to kind of, you know, just take off the responsibility off of we're putting way too much responsibility on him.
I would like to see
And it's just
Mounts play left wing a little bit more this season,
yeah, no, he's a
just to help with
yeah.
that midfield, for him to
Hmm.
drop in and just add legs. Because if you have Mount and you have Ugarte's pressing and you have Kobe in there, we will help dominate that midfield. And the
Hmm.
only issue is that we maybe don't have a left back that's gonna fly and go beyond. But Mizraoui, I think, can do that job. He can
Hmm.
get into those attacking spots and attacking positions pretty strong. So we have those tactical flexibilities. It's left to Ten Hag to really like, okay, this game, you know what I'm going to do? I want to make sure we dominate the ball. So I'm going to play Xerxes down the middle. I'm going to play Ahmad. I'm going to play Mount on the left because I want someone that's going to work hard, who's going to press right, who's going to come into that midfield and help us dominate the ball, right? And
Hmm.
defend, obviously, in coming backwards. So we have players that can execute a plan. I don't know. I'm just curious. This first game for me is huge, right? This first game is
Yeah,
going to say a
it's
lot.
100%. It's just going to be like Wolves. I think it's a litmus test of like
Yes.
Wolves was literally the litmus test. That first game was the litmus test for our season. It literally mirrored our whole season. That
Yeah.
first game, which is crazy. And we'll answer. We'll shout out Manav Sandhu. We'll answer questions here. Shout out my guy Rob. Much love, my brother. Manav, 15-year with yeah, 100%. It is good business. I agree with that. Yeah, but this schedule, man, Fulham. These should be games where we feel like we can win, but we know how this works.
Mm.
Fulham,
That
Brighton,
Brighton game, man. My God, I hate Brighton. I
Brighton, man.
swear.
We know how this works, man. We know how Brighton
Yeah.
works. We need to dominate Fulham. I agree. We need to make a statement. I agree. I think we can make a big statement against
For
Fulham. Maybe
me,
we,
my dream scenario is like 3-0, 4-0, something like that.
and
And it's like,
then they feel the need to go by McTominay.
yeah, like that. They go by McTominay, and then the next team you're facing is going to be like, there's gonna be a little bit of pause. But if
Hmm.
we come out against Fulham and we look weak, Brighton are gonna be licking their lips, man. Especially at
Hmm.
home, they're gonna be
Hmm.
like, hey, we can get at Manchester United, so we need to be strong. Put out a big statement. We need to win our first 5 games. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, even getting up onto Aston Villa. Then I'm like, okay, you're going away to Villa. That might be a tough game. Maybe get a draw. But if we can win the bulk of our first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,
Hmm.
8 games, and maybe just drop points in one, then you're looking pretty set to
Yeah.
be at the top four come December.
Yeah,
So
this stretch right here, these first few games, this is going to be from beginning of middle August to beginning of October is going to be a huge stretch. It's going to be a huge stretch, man. Like it's going to be interesting. Let's just look at the squad real quick and just go through. Obviously, from an attacking perspective, what do you think? What do you think our first front three on day one? What do you think that first front three is going to look like?
I don't know. I think our main front three is going to be Rashford, Hoyland, Ahmad. I think our front three against Fulham is going to be Ahmad, Bruno false nine, and Rashford.
Mm-hmm.
I think Xerxes is going to come off the bench. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I don't mind because Mount would then being the number 10, and we can have we can kind of pack the midfield a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give us a chance to dominate the ball a little bit more, not be as open in midfield, and hopefully press higher up the pitch.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think I'm not sure about Jadon Sancho. Like, what are we gonna do with him? Because
You know how I feel, but it's over. It's
he seems
over.
like he's staying and he's not staying. He's going, but he's not going.
Ten Hag. Come on, can we admit that Ten Hag is doing him so dirty? Can we just admit that? Can we
You
just
know,
admit that? Like, what does he need to do? What does he want from him?
do you know what he wants
Like,
from him? Application.
I
That's the biggest thing.
I see the app. He what like okay? The type of player that here's the thing, right? The type of player that Jaden is, he is. You know how we have the hockey assist, right?
Yeah,
The piece he is the pass that leads to the pass. That's Jaden Sancho, and people don't appreciate those players. He's not necessarily like he just keeps it tidy. He's not he plays with people say he's playing within himself or he's not. I think we need more players who just keep the ball ticking, right? We need more of those players. We've struggled to have players who actually know how to retain the ball and
I agree.
like we want to play this. We want to. Everyone's like, oh, we want to play attacking football. How do you play attacking football? You need players who know how to keep the ball. That's where you start,
See,
and he does that.
I was willing to give Sancho a chance. The problem I have with Sancho is just he lacks that killer bite and attack. Like he he does like you're right. He does all the pass before the pass and all that stuff, and all that stuff is great. But in the Premier League, you want killers. You want people who are just going to get the ball, who are going to make things happen. That's why for me, Ahmad is ahead of him. That's why Garnacho is ahead of him. And for all the criticism Marcus Rashford gets, still ahead of him because of that. Marcus knows how to get in and get shots off on goal. Sancho just he wants to play the pass, and it's like it's cool.
Yes, yes, well,
Play the pass is
yes.
cool, but you
But
need to
like,
still be a killer. That's why
okay,
Grealish gets so much flack at Manchester City because you're not killing the game you're not winning me games, you're not winning me matches.
that's a different conversation for a different day. But here's the thing, right? With Marcus, it's like I, I've criticized Marcus heavily. Let's be real. But at the same time, like I think I've been generally fair with Marcus. Like when he's been playing well, I've said he's played well. My
Yeah,
issue is there's far too many games where if he's not scoring a goal, what like especially like look at last season just as the litmus test. Like
it was really
what is
bad.
he do? And in my opinion, if we assess like a player like because we're using Marcus as an example, right? And
Yeah,
Garnacho, right? And I don't even want I'm not even going to use Garnacho as the example. I think he's still young. Let's let him develop. But Marcus's goal tally throughout his averages throughout the course of the year, or over the course of his career, don't justify, in my opinion,
hmm
this. He knows how to find. He averages like, what is his average per season in the Premier League? Is it?
maybe
It's
I'll
it's
probably
not.
say around
It's
nine,
not.
ten
It's
goals a
not. It's
season.
not good. It's not good. It's not good, Brian. Like it's
Yeah,
not good. It's not
he
good
doesn't
enough
get a
to
lot of
more than
assists as well. So
yeah. At
yeah,
least for Jadon Sancho, I know the ball is the ball. We're circulating the ball. When we circulate the ball more, we're gonna by osmosis we will generate more chances, and that's just how I view this stuff. But anyway, let's see. Let's go to the comments. Cut ties with Jaden for everyone's benefit. His strengths are being aren't I think aren't being utilized here. I think there we go. Um, Sancho at BVB took risks. That's why we signed him. Again, I think he's the same player. I just think it's the
before we
environment. I'll be
signed him,
real.
I said the same thing that we don't. Before we signed Sancho, I was one of the few people that came out and said we don't play the way that fits Jadon Sancho, and he's probably
Mm,
going to flop here. I said that.
mm,
I got a lot of flack for it at the time, but you can see the way he wants to play, and I just don't think Man United are ever going to be the team that plays that way because we
mm,
had the same team with Sir Alex Ferguson when we had Shinji Kagawa. Go watch
mm.
Kagawa play and go watch Jadon Sancho play. You're going to start saying, oh, I see. They're kind of the same player, just one is English. But ultimately, I think he's a good player. I'm never going to call Sancho a bad player, but he just doesn't fit the culture and the personality of a Manchester United winger.
I like
That's the
Sinji, by
issue.
the way.
Yeah, I like Sinji. Like, listen, at least he always gave 100%. Like, he always, like, his walk rate was incredible. He just, again, another player, like, he's that kind of wing fielder that doesn't really, like, match with what Manchester United want. We want direct wingers. People like Garnacho who get the ball. They're constantly going to run at you. That's what gets Manchester United fans excited. Sancho wants to get the ball. He wants to pass the ball. Like he's a good player, but he needs to play with a system that facilitates him which will allow him to get to his potential. At Manchester United, I just don't think he's ever going to hit that because we don't play that way. He doesn't
No, I
have
agree.
players on that wavelength along with him. So I think to be honest, I think he goes before the end of the window.
Yeah, I hope he goes. Honestly, at this point, I hope he goes. I hope we go to PSG, man. Go to, I don't know, go somewhere and go flourish, man. Go back to Dortmund. Honestly, I don't know why he wouldn't just
They don't
spend his
want to
career.
pay. Maybe he
Yeah, they
should
don't want
drop
to
his
pay.
wages, man. Drop your wages, go somewhere else. Restart your career again. I think
I
that'll be the
never.
best thing
I
for him.
Hey man, don't drop your wages, Jaden. Don't listen to Brian. Don't listen to Brian. Brian doesn't want you to come on, man. Nah. Don't do that.
But
You
PSG is the only ones that can pay his wages right
go
now.
go to go
So
to P, go to PSG. Go to PSG, buddy.
I
Um,
think I think
how do
that's
you
what
guys
happens.
see good? Yeah, and we'll talk about. Yeah, this is a good. How do you guys see Xerxes, Hoyland rotating? All for healthy competition, but that's a great question.
I think it's very good
Honestly,
for
I,
us.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I think it's good to have two different profiles of strikers. I think if we want to go the quote unquote counter-attacking route, Hoyland is going to be the. And I was thinking about this the other day. Like who is the number one in Ten Hag's mind right now? Like,
Number one striker?
yeah, who is that? Like, if everyone's fit, like, are you sure? Are people? I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Xerxes will start. I'm like,
It's Hoyland for me. I think
that,
it's Hoyland. It might not even be either of them. It might be a sneaky
it might be
20 million
false
pound bid
line.
for Ivan Tony at the end of the window.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Oh man, if we could get Ivan Tony, listen, I'm talking crazy for the rest of the season. Like
I know so many people that are going to go crazy in
I am
Manchester
s-
United fan base.
I am one of Ivan Tony's biggest fans. Like I have been a fan since I figured out who he was. Like he's so
The
good at
rumors
football,
aren't
bro.
going away, man. We keep getting linked to,
I
if we
know.
sell Sancho,
Yeah, if we sell Sancho, then there's a window to get him, right? Like
yeah,
that's the money. And I think we're doing the I think Ineos are doing the right thing in shedding contracts before bringing. I think it's just they're doing smart business. They really are doing
they
smart
are.
business.
They
Like
are.
you just
Uh,
can't argue it.
I would love Ivan 22, man, because people are gonna be like, "Well, you have three strikers, and so what? Like, like who cares?
I was saying,
Honestly,
yeah, I was saying this. This is a good question, right? The question from earlier, the center back question. How do you think he rotates the four center? Listen, I don't. That it's a good question, bro. But that's good. That's a good thing. Like City have John Stones, Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz,
Akanji,
Akanji, and I'm
Gaviel.
missing. Thank you. But what? Like, come on. In fact, like it's just
Like,
this
it's
is
not a problem.
it's
Having
not a
good
problem.
players in
It's
depth is not a problem, guys.
that's what
Seriously.
that yeah that's what we want. That's literally. But yeah, I think for me, I listen. You know how I feel about Hoyland. I still don't think he's a. I
Haaland is
don't.
my boy. I'm
I
probably one of the
know.
few people that
I
love.
know.
Listen, I love Rasmus Højlund because the player
Yeah,
I
I
see
don't.
there is
I
just.
don't.
Listen, everybody loves Watkins, and when I see Rasmus Højlund, I just see Ollie Watkins, but maybe even a possibly player that could be better, right? Because he just has that natural pace, that strength, that eye for goal. Because Watkins had to learn how to get into the right places in the box. But Hoyland is kind of a predator. Like if you put the balls in the box, Hoyland scores goals. So for me, I just think if we play to his strengths and use him in the right way, Hoyland is dangerous, man. He's dangerous. He's just unfortunately, and this is why for me, I don't mind having three strikers. Because some games Ten Hag wants to use a target man. Some games Ten Hag wants someone that drops into the pockets. Some games we would do well with having a player that runs off the channels. And that's Rasmus Højlund. Having those three separate profiles is immense for a long season. So for me, I think Rasmus is young. He's still developing. He needs to learn some things. There's nothing wrong with having his profile, especially if you go out, you have Xerxes, you go buy an Ivan Tony. What's wrong with having Rasmus there as well? The biggest mistake we made, and thank God we didn't make that same mistake this season, is because we bought young Euro, but we also bought Delete. Last season when we bought Hoyland, we should have bought someone else that was experienced, and we didn't do that.
Mm,
So
mm.
we have cover for Rasmus. I think the
Yeah.
bigger issue is how we attack and how we set up the attack, the wingers that we use. If someone
Mm,
is off form, drop them. For the love of God, I don't want to see Marcus Rashford playing 8 games straight, Garnacho playing 8 games straight. We can't have that this season. Ten Hag needs to
mm.
rotate.
Yeah. No. I hope you're right. I really hope you're right about Hoyland. Like that's I'm not one of these people who if I don't rate a player,
Yeah,
I'm not wishing them
their
well.
downfall.
Like let me make you laugh. Let me make you laugh. Like let me see if I can let me put this up. Oh my bad. Let me put this tweet up real quick that I posted and people were trolling. People were thought I was like how Bruno just got this new contract,
Yeah. I think
right?
I saw what you said. You said you're happy for his.
I said congrats to him and his family, and people were, I know, oh yeah, bro. I was like, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. Like, I'm happy for him. Like, listen, I am so pro players getting their money. Like, even players I don't rate. Like these players, and I think we talked about this before. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
these
You're gonna
players,
get your bag.
these players have such a finite window to make this amount of money. Like, and then let me see if I can find the comments. People were like, I'm hearing the
Temin Cho.
sarcasm in this. Temi Cho, this is a way of telling us. I'm like, bro, what? Like, I'm so serious right now, though. Like, I think he's a good player. You know what
A
I
lot
mean?
of people had
Like,
problem with it. A lot of people have problem with the contract. Sorry, can you hear
listen,
me?
listen. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear you. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Listen, I don't agree with this. Like 300K is for a player I don't rate is not what I would have done. But that's a separate conversation. Like if you ask me, would you have signed Bruno Fernandez to a 300K a week contract and extended him 4 more years? I would have said no.
Yeah.
But does that mean like I know that he puts his all out for the club. He never cheats the club. He's been a model citizen. I think off the pitch, he's a very good captain. You know what I'm saying? Like so why would I wish bad on? I don't wish bad on anybody. I want to make that very clear. If I don't rate a player, why does that mean I dislike that player?
True.
My dog's name is Bruno for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've had
what?
issues with Bruno, especially in the last year, 2 years, I'd say, that he really got in his own way. Like the way he was playing wasn't to the benefit to the team. And you're right, he does work hard and he has flaws in his game that I see. I was one of the biggest Bruno fans, especially before we signed him. I was like, literally, I think I said on tweet went not too viral, but it got a lot of likes. I was like, not signing Bruno Fernandez is a sin or something, like something like that.
Yeah.
And
Me too, bro. I said this is like 5 years ago. I was like, bring me Bruno Fernandez and Fabio and Ruiz. I said that like back
but yeah,
time ago. Like,
people act like people just hate Bruno because no, but we signed him for a certain team, a certain style, and the way Bruno plays is was very beneficial to that counter-attacking system where he knows how to find that pass. Like when I see him, right, when he does the things that he's good at, it's like there's very few people in the world that can do this. Because you're like, I see the pass on TV, right? But then Bruno sees the pass in game. It's not that easy, guys. It's easy for you to
no,
see it
I
when you're
agree.
watching it, but when it's happening in
Yes,
game, it's very few players that
yes,
can do that.
it's
But
undeniable. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, but his weaknesses, when he gets pressed, when he's carrying the ball, things like that, it's like I think until we get a player that can handle those things and do some of what Bruno does, I don't think we're going to be able to win the league. That's just me. But
Yeah,
to act like he's just horrible player simply because you don't like his style is kind of pushing it a little bit too far for me.
yeah. I agree with this comment. Bruno is our most important player,
True. Yeah.
and I think that's a problem. Like
Mm-hmm.
personally, I think that's not a good thing for him to be our most important player. Like I would like him in a tertiary role, right? Personally, me, I think, how do I word this? And I get tired of talking about this. People think this is all I talk. I talk about a bunch of stuff on my channel. People ask Brian, like we talk about a bunch of different stuff. but like he hasn't proven at the highest level that he can be that talisman and the team be cohesive. Like I just
Hmm.
we've seen it in spurts, we've seen it in 2 month spurts, we've seen it in 3 month spurts, but we've never seen it like put together, right? And that's where I have my reservations. I have United finishing third. If United finish third, that means I'm predicting Bruno Fernandes is going to have a good season. That's what that
That's true.
means.
Yeah.
So I'm holding it like Bruno, and it's not even look, the things you mentioned, Brian, about his ability. Like he has the ability to pick passes. A lot of players can't pick,
That's
but
true.
my issue he's a high volume and low efficiency player. I think he's a low efficiency player.
Hmm.
And I don't like low efficiency players in my team personally. Like I just don't necessarily I much prefer the safer the safer type of players, maybe the more graceful type of number 10s, right? That's my cup of tea,
Would
right?
you say we've seen better of Bruno since we've seen him play this false nine role?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Listen, for me, his biggest weakness is his positional awareness.
Yeah.
Right, we're playing him in midfield, okay, and he's not that positionally aware. He leaves Kobe and Manu, alone far too often. And a player like Casemiro, whose legs are gone, you're just asking for disaster. Kobe Manu, if we were to criticize him on anything this early in his career, he can be a bit better defensively. He can,
Yeah,
and that's
he's not a high volume defensive contributor, Kobe Manu.
yeah. So and then it's just you see what I'm saying there. So yeah, him as a false nine where the midfield is packed, right? And there's less responsibility on him to hold the team shape. I'm okay with that. But are we now saying Hoyland, Xerxes, Tony? The manager's going to play those guys once he's just going to put Bruno at number 10 because everyone views him as a midfield. So it's just you know, only Paul
He creates
or
problems. He creates problems, but ultimately, I think how we can end up balancing it is like adding those high efficiency players, especially into our back line. So having someone like Delit and Euro and Martinez, you know, this season we're not gonna get that left back, but I think long term, getting that left back that just adds another dynamism to that squad. I saw something that the Moupeteers were saying that long term we're looking at Kirkes and it outs Nuri. So
listen. Those are my two top targets. So those are literally. I did a TikTok earlier in the window, and I highlighted Ryan Nori. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Nori. Like
I
I
wanted
think.
him before he came to Wolves. I was like, this
Mm,
guy looks really good that we could sign him
mm,
a
mm,
while ago. So I'll be listen. All the players I've wanted Manchester United to buy in the last 3 years we've been linked with. Well, three,
mm,
4 years, especially Sander Berge, right? When Sander Berge, I think he was at Genk. It's been a while now, but I think it was at Genk or so.
mm,
I wanted him because he was 6'6". He played at Anfield and he looked comfortable and he was good on the ball and he just had really good attributes. So for me as someone that watches football, it's nice to kind of see that Manchester United are linked to players that I like
mm,
because you get a lot of people on Twitter that like you don't know ball and you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like I've been watching football for 20 years. I kind of know a little bit of something.
yeah.
So if we
I love people on the internet thinking that like you think
you
what we
know
do is like people think what we do is easy, like this
no,
talking football
bro.
stuff. Like it's so hard to balance it because you're gonna get stuff wrong. I get stuff wrong
Yes,
all the time, but like we spend a lot of time watching football.
bro.
Like most anybody I'm doing content with consistently, I'm telling you right now for a fact, my boy that I just did content with, Andy, bro, we used to live together. We worked together. We used to live together. Saturday morning, you can ask me when we lived in North. We wake up, we're watching football all day. Like
Bro.
we'll go like the bar that there was a Liverpool. Funny enough, there was a Liverpool bar by where we used to. I used to go to that Liverpool bar. It was just we just watch for bro. Like this is not easy. So
It's not. When I was
it's
younger, I had this DVD for Manchester United, the season review,
Mm,
2003, 2004. I
mm,
shit you not, I watched that DVD over 40 times.
yeah,
Back
yeah.
to back to back to back. I can tell you every single game, like
Mm-hmm,
recount what happened. Like I've watched so
mm-hmm.
much football to the point where it's like, yeah, not that we don't get things wrong, but like when I see a
Yeah.
player that's like, yeah, this is a good player. I think this is a player that can play for
Mm-hmm,
Manchester United. That's why the Ugarte thing is so startling to me. It's like I do not
mm,
understand the cognitive dissonance going on with Ugarte because a lot of
mm.
people think he's shit. He's not a shit player.
No, I don't think
Like
he should. I
even
don't think he
even
should.
PSG fans are saying he's not a shit player. Like they're
Mm-hmm,
literally coming out and saying, "Listen, when he started for us, he was playing really well. You know, Enrique didn't like the way he was playing, and things kind of tailed off."
mm,
But like we're getting a young 23-year-old DM. When is the last time we signed a young 23-year-old DM for Christ's sake in Manchester
mm.
United? Matic was 30s. Casemiro was close to his 30s. Like all the demons were signed were almost on the wrong side of 30 years old. We're getting a young player. You're going to need to mold that player. Even Declan Rice for
Yeah.
Arsenal needs to be molded still because he has not hit his full potential. When
Mm-hmm.
Rodri signed for Manchester City,
He struggled.
he struggled. Well, he hadn't hit his full potential. Like people just, you're not going to get the perfect player to just to come in. There are very few
No,
players that do that.
100%.
You know,
Listen, I'm right there with you. Listen, I what I've said about Ugarte, I would take him. Like if he came to the club, he's a good player. I don't think he's a bad player. He just wasn't. We wouldn't be my top.
number
He
one
wouldn't be my
pick.
number one, and that's okay. Even
Yeah.
Mazraoui wouldn't have been my number one option at fullback, but that's okay. I think he's a good player still. So I think people like because of how polarizing the space we're in is polarizing, right?
Very,
And
very.
it's either you're terrible or you're great,
They're the
right?
best in
There's
the
not
world.
yeah, there's there I think the conversations sometimes lack nuance, right? And
See, like,
I've been guilty of that sometimes, but I
yo,
think that yeah, the Ugarte thing, listen, and we'll
the
talk
guy's
well
the guy's a monster, man. I think if you want to go in later to talk about him for sure, but
yeah, yeah,
for me,
yeah.
he's a monster player.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to him when we talk midfield. But I guess we've any thoughts about the? I generally agree with your front three for Saturday, but I think the front three will be Ahmad, Xerxes, Rashford. I think that's what he
For Saturday,
will.
for this
No, no, no,
Friday
no. Just that
in general,
future.
oh,
Yeah,
it
I'll
could
go
be.
with Ahmad, Xerxes, Rashford. We have maybe some more ball retention. And we've been playing football. Like he's been trying to play like against City, like you mentioned. We tried to play some football. We played some decent stuff. I think we had opportunities. We should have won that game
We should have won the game
realistically.
for sure. We should
So
have
I
won.
think hopefully he's you know
Do you
thinking more
think?
footballers.
Do you think Anthony gets revived because of Mazraoui?
Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. I think he's there. That's the one where I'm resigned. I'm resigned to it. It's
Man,
just he's
do you know
not
that
cutting it.
Anthony signing has completely soured people's taste to ex-Ten Hag players and players from
Yeah,
the
no,
Dutch league?
that's what people are saying because a lot of people are giving our double swoop some shit because oh all he does is sign he's just trying to recreate Ajax that whole thing, but I don't have an issue with Dutch players like
I don't.
or players who came from like generally their technical floors are high,
Like
so
even especially for me, I don't see the Leeds being a long-term pairing. Like the long-term partnership Ineos wants is clearly Braithwaite and Euro. Those are the
mm,
two centre back pairings that they want. And if you have Delita and Martinez as your two pair, like what are you talking about?
hmm
That's really really high level. Like come
hmm
on, there's not
yeah,
a complaint from me. But people
yeah,
don't see the vision, which is fine until it happens. So
yeah,
I'm
absolutely,
patient with it. I don't have a problem with it at all.
yeah. Midfield, I think this is our ultimate conundrum. I'll be real.
We need some quality in there, man.
We need some quality in there. It's lacking. And honestly, I'm a firm believer that he should probably stick with playing four midfield players until we get some solidity in there, whether it be with Berga or it be with Ugarte, right?
Both preferably.
or both. Do you think that do you really think that can happen though? I don't see it.
I think we should sell if we sell McTominay. If we sell McTominay, I think we get both because Berger can play that number 8 role where he can carry
Mhm,
the ball and he can go box to box. If you need him to go box to box, he can do that for you, and he can also play the number 6 role pretty comfortably. So
mhm.
for me, I would get both. Ugarte would be your main number 6, but we need both, and I don't think a player like Berger is going to give you problems when it comes to sitting on the bench.
No.
He's gonna know his role. He's not gonna kick off. He's gonna be a good professional. And when Kobe Manu needs to sit on the bench, because he's going to need to sit on the bench sometimes, you can bring in Sanderberg, and you're not gonna have
Mhm.
a problem. So, for me, I would bring in both if we could. And selling McTominay is probably gonna be a huge. I think we can sign Ugarte outright
Mm,
at a push, but I don't think we can sign Berger without moving out McTominay. So
mm,
we'll
mm,
see.
mm, mm. Interesting, man. And here's the thing: it's like the more I look at this midfield, the more I'm kind of like, yikes, we really need to,
We need
um,
two, not one, man. We need two.
mhm.
Two midfielders.
Erickson, his legs are gone.
He should be number
Scott,
3, number 10 for us. We'll all sell
mm,
him. One of the
yeah,
two.
yeah, Scott. Obviously, there's interest in other clubs. Mabry, not good enough.
He's
Collier,
gone. He's gone. He handed
yeah,
in a transfer request, so he's gonna go.
okay. Collier, good
I like
player.
Collier. I like Collier.
I'm a big fan of Toby Collier. I thought he showed some real. He was really, and you can tell they're kind of trying to bet him in to be the next
Dude, people are talking
academy.
about Worthen, but when
Hmm.
Collier came in against Manchester City, I feel like I see we got better as a
Hmm.
team. And
Hmm.
anytime he's not been on the pitch, especially in preseason, we've looked worse.
Yeah,
So for a young player to have that kind of influence on the team already is
he's a he's
pretty
a.
strong.
I'd never because I'll be real. I don't watch academy games. I'll
No,
just
me too.
I'll raise my hand. Like I don't. I watch too much sports. Right.
Yeah.
Like I have to kind of have to pick and choose. You know, your battles and what you're gonna keep up with. So I always find preseason refreshing because I get to see the kind of finished articles of the academy and see if they're really up for the level and all that good stuff. And he
He
was
looks
just
different.
he was clearly the best academy player out there. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
From
He look
the new crop.
this is gonna look even this is gonna sound crazy, but he looked better than Kobe Manu did last season, even though he got injured. But
Mm,
like he
in
looked better than
preseason.
Manu in preseason. Like Collier
Mm,
came in and his desire and energy to go into challenges and go box to box and get into position and get back and make the right passes. Like he's everywhere on the pitch.
hmm.
Like I
Yeah.
noticed against Manchester City, Man City were exploiting that our left hand side with
Hmm.
Menu being in that position. But immediately Collier came on, that was done. That was not happening anymore. Because that's where they
Yeah.
scored from. But when
Right.
Collier came in, it fixed that issue. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people are saying whether we should loan him out. I don't think we should loan him out. I think we
I
should
don't
keep
think
him.
so. Yeah.
So I think we can use him this season for sure. I
They're
think
good.
there's a player there. If he develops the way that I think he could, we might not need to buy Worthen. We really might not need to buy Worthen because
Hmm.
they look like similar players,
Hmm.
pretty similar
Yeah,
players.
I think he has high potential, right? So we'll see. We'll see. The midfield is
Yeah, big season for him. Big
big
season for
season
him
for
coming
him.
up.
Yeah, I don't think he'll show a good account for himself. He'll definitely show a good account for oops, too much. Um Obviously in defense, nice little upgrade. I like seeing his name in this team sheet, man.
I can't believe it. It
Yeah, it's
sounds a little bit
crazy.
surreal because I
Yeah,
remember when he broke through at Ajax, man. People were talking
bro,
some insane
crazy,
things about this guy. He's the next
crazy.
Van Dijk. He's going to be like huge. And sometimes that can hurt you as a player because he was 19
Hmm.
years old,
Right.
captaining of Ajax and
I
stuff.
think it did hurt him a little bit.
Yeah,
I think it
he
did hurt
did.
him a little bit. I think the reason people think this is a risk signing is because of just perception of, oh, well, he's been to Juventus and he's been to Bayern and he hasn't been able to settle anywhere and blah blah blah. I think this is a low risk deal. I
Very,
really do.
very. I think we got him on cheap, to be
Yeah,
honest with
I
you.
think we got him at a good price, right? He's 24, right? I think he's going to retain his value for the next 3, 4 years, right? At a minimum. Good center back. And then I saw something recently where like people are like, oh, he's always been out. Like he's played a majority of games for Bayern Munich. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So all of this, a lot of things are being taken out of context. And again, 45 million for a Champions League proven center back,
Hmm.
is good business. So I think and then Yoro's going to come back as well, right?
Yo, Euro too.
Lissandro's back in the mix.
Brian, if we
So
can get Brian to it, bro,
you think
our
you think we'll get Branthwaite on top of it too?
if
You
not this
think so?
season, if not this summer, next summer for sure. But if Ineos just go mad the last few weeks of the window, bro, get Brian Sweet
I don't
and
see
get
it.
like I just want to see them because I want to see what rival fans will say. They're
Yeah,
gonna lose their shit. Like and
yeah,
it'll
it'll
be
be
so
hilarious.
funny. Man, because listen, I'm not even the biggest Brian Sweet fan. I'm not like this guy's world class, but the
Hmm.
profiling between him and Euro, because I always tell people, center backs is about the center back partnership. Do
Hmm.
people balance each other out? That's what
Hmm.
gets the best out of players. I saw the same thing with when Rio Ferdinand was at the club until Vidic came. That's when he really went to the next level. Rio helped Vidic, Vidic helped Rio. That's what it's all about. So for me, Euro and I think Brightway to go very, very well together because of like those two are giant defenders,
Yeah, they
man.
are.
So
Yeah.
it looks like to me, especially with the left back situation, I don't think we're going to buy a left back. I really don't think. I know people are looking at emergent situations. We're going to get someone on loan. We're going to get some kind of free agent. I don't think for sure we're not going to buy anybody. I think if anything, we'll get someone on loan or it'll be a free agent or something like that.
Hmm.
Primarily because if Manchester United get any kind of indication that Brian Sweet is possible, I think they do it. I think they do it and they do it this season. And same thing goes for Ivan Tony. But right now, midfield is the main thing. But you never know what happens with Everton last 2 weeks of the window because remember Ashworth. People were saying they're not going to drop the price. They want
Yeah,
20
yeah,
mil. It's never going
yeah.
to happen. Boom! Out of nowhere, it happened. I'm holding out hope it happens because, like I said, I really want to see rivals lose their mind because
Yeah, that would be
you know
crazy. That
it
would be
would
crazy. That would be a statement of intent by
it
them.
would be it
If
would
I
be
ever,
huge.
but I don't understand our financial situation.
I
To
don't
like
think
our
it's as
FF.
bad as we've let on. If I'm being totally honest with you.
You
I
think
think,
so?
like you said, don't get mugged in the market, and I don't think we are allowing ourselves to. Oh,
Show our financial strength, or whatever
yeah,
the
like
case
we're,
may
we're
be.
being we're being very careful to get things within our within quote unquote a budget. I think
Mm,
what we're sticking to is valuations. Not
mm,
that we can't spend money, but we have valuations for each player, and
mm,
we don't want to overcrowd our squad as well, needlessly.
mm,
So
mm.
we've earmarked getting one midfielder for sure, regardless of ins and outs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if we sell someone else, we'll get a second midfielder.
If we sell Lindelof, we may get another left back or center back. If we sell Scott, we'll get another midfielder type of thing.
Yeah.
So just slowly kind of like ease, like just I like what they're doing. I think they're doing the right thing, 100%. It's gonna be an interesting season, man. I think a lot of things have to go our way. We haven't even talked about Europa League, right?
Mm.
The cup competitions. I think top four and a trophy is a great season. I really do.
It would be fantastic, considering how badly last season went. It'd be
Hmm.
fantastic. Can it
Yeah,
happen? I just
yeah. I see
I
it.
my head is saying this is gonna go bad, but my heart
Bad
is
shit.
saying
Yeah,
this is gonna be Man United are gonna be a surprise. Like I don't know why
yeah.
I can't shake that feeling this
Me neither,
season.
bro.
Like I can't shake like I just get this feeling like Man United are gonna do something this year. Like
Yeah,
I don't know why. Is this copium?
bro.
Is this
We've
what they
been,
call
we've been,
copium?
we were shit last year and we still won a trophy. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So like, it's always that. it really this all honestly this is on Ten Hag. This is when he has to prove what he's worth. Like because I think we have the players to our squad. We have talent in that squad. No matter we can argue. I can argue about Bruno. I can argue about Rashford. I can argue, Xerxes, Hoyland, whatever. Like we have talent in the squad. It's just can you put it together? Like is our
Yeah,
squad more talented than Villa's squad? Yes,
I
I
think
would
so.
say.
Yeah.
I would say so. I would say just in totality, they have spots where they're better, but in totality, I think our squad is better than their squad, and they
Yeah.
finished fourth last season. So you know, Newcastle. I put Newcastle high up there on my rankings. But I think we're right in we're there.
No, we're right there. We
So
were completely horrible, and we finished what, eighth? And it wasn't
hmm
like as if we were far away eighth. It was like we just collapsed towards the end of the
hmm
season. It
hmm
really wasn't when really not that far off with us being horrible. So
right.
if we pick up form to where we should be, we got like fifth place.
Yeah.
Now if we
Yeah.
then perform to our standard of where we should be, third and fourth is possible. So for me, that's
Exactly.
why my prediction in this season was fifth. Like, okay, if we
hmm
get back on track, fifth. But if we perform to where everybody's hitting the milestones they should, then third place and fourth is possible.
No, appreciate it. Hey, shout out to my guy Flawless for the raid. We really appreciate it. Everyone who's joining, hey, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, stay locked in with the boys. We're just talking previewing the season, getting Brian and our thoughts off, our thoughts off, and you know, uh, just making sure we have everything set for the season. We're excited. So shout out to Sarcasm City. We have 30 people watching. Make sure to hit the like button. For those who are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let's actually build an 11 really quickly.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to home crowd really quickly. Actually, what's the? Because home crowd can be crazy sometimes. What's the? Is it this one? No, not this one.
It's not. I
Yeah,
think
let's
this is the
let's
one people
just
use.
yeah, we can use this one. Um, Go lineup builder. Hey, shout out to my guy Flawless. Much love, bro. Really appreciate the raid. Everyone, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Stay locked in with us. We're gonna build a lineup. So we're talking Premier League, or not Premier League, Manchester United preview. Guys, where do you think we're gonna finish? Drop your questions. Good question, AJ. By question, please, gents. Because of Luke Shaw, you need a left back, in my opinion. Would you guys take Anthony Robinson from Fulham? I like. Listen, I'm shout out USA. I like Anthony Robinson. I think he's a good fullback. He's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for?
I think
He's
he's a
straight.
standard. He's a
He's a
standard
straight.
runner.
He's a straight line. He's a
Yeah.
straight line. Like you know what I mean. He's a straight line runner. He's not too creative in any way. He's gonna run that channel right. He's gonna run that channel up and down, but he's not gonna do much and put in good and decent crosses. But I think
I don't
that
think we
wouldn't
should
hurt.
buy a left back this window because we can't get who we
Mhm.
want. We're going
Right,
because we've been linked, like I told you before, Kerkez and El Tanuri. Those are who we want long
right,
term. We should go for our long term targets because they are far and above
yeah,
more quality than what we can actually get this summer. So
right,
left
right,
back
right.
wise, I think somebody temporary for this summer works because even though I think his injuries at this point are a joke, Luke Shaw is still gonna come back. And Malasia at some point is gonna prove he's still
Yeah,
alive
the
to us.
the injuries are crazy. Like the Luke Shaw thing is so sad because I want to be right on him so badly, but like, bro, he
I don't
just
even
he just can't
understand it,
stay
man.
fit. He
The
can't stay
left back
fit,
curse is crazy because we signed Malasia to be this player that's gonna be available for us if Luke Shaw isn't, and he gets this
and he
long
gets
term injury. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
man. It's crazy. It's crazy. So obviously we know Onana in goal. Left back, I guess let's just say everyone is fit. Let's just do that right now and then we'll
Everybody's
adjust it.
fit. All right, let's go.
Everybody's fit. Everybody's fit. Okay.
No,
Luke
everybody's
Shaw.
fit. Luke Shaw, I guess, will play. Yeah,
Okay. Left center
Martinez.
back, Martinez. Where yep, there we go. Um, right
Pundit.
center back.
We were gonna be like not Euro.
No, right. No, I think that's right. I think that's right. Right
But
back, we gotta
oof.
go. I'm going. Oh, wait, you're thinking about this?
Uh,
Wait. You're thinking about this for real?
oh man, I love Dalot. I really like Dalot because he's improved a lot this season.
But you take
It's
Mazraoui
tough.
over him.
I might actually drop Luke Shaw and play Mazraoui, then play
Mm,
Dalot right back. Because I
okay,
just think what
okay.
Mazraoui offers us is just like man, like I don't know.
Listen, I think when everyone's fully when all of our fullbacks are fully fit, I do think Luke Shaw's our best fullback. But I hear what you're
I
saying.
don't
You know
know.
what? We
I
can
don't
we
know.
can do that.
I like Dalot, man. I think Dalot has offered us a lot more than Luke Shaw in the last couple, like last year for sure. Last
That's
year for
I
sure.
mean obviously, but the season before, Luke Shaw was way better.
Yeah,
It wasn't even
fair.
close. It wasn't even close.
True.
Let me we'll put Mazraoui
Yeah, then
just
we'll put.
for
I
oh
just
no,
think
sorry,
he's
Dallo.
yeah. Dalot probably plays on the left. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Midfield.
Menu goes
Everyone.
in instantly, obviously.
Hmm.
Oh man. Oof.
You don't want
We
to do
well we both believe Ugarte is gonna happen. Let's just say Ugarte. Let's just say
okay,
Ugarte.
yeah, I do think I okay, let's do that. You know what? I do think Ugarte is gonna happen. So let's just put Ugarte in there.
No offense to
Uh
Casemiro,
yeah,
but
sorry,
being
I don't want to put Casemiro in there either. I'll be real. I'll be real with you, bro. Left wing is probably gonna be Marcus.
oh Marcus. We have something to solve with this kid, man.
If he doesn't listen, he's not a kid anymore. He
I know.
this
To
is
me, he's a kid.
this is
So
a grown this is a grown
because he
man.
still plays like a kid. That's just the thing.
We baby him so much. It's crazy.
It's
Like,
true.
um, let's see. Obviously, we know Bruno's gonna be
Bruno
number
Bruno
10.
goes in. Yeah. We're
Uh,
probably going to disagree on the striker.
yo, absolutely. Um,
Ahmad.
Ahmad, yeah, there's no questions there. I am predicting a breakout Ahmad season. Like this is the year. This is the year where we see Ahmad Diallo just go crazy.
He looks really good. I really like. He looks really good. He's
Chat,
been one of our best
let's
players.
yeah, let's ask the chat. Chat, who would you start? Would you start Xerxes or would you start Hoyland? Would you start before drop your thoughts in the comments, chat. Let's see. Xerxes or Hoyland, we'll see what the people say.
Bro,
Uh
there's a world where
now for us 26.
Xerxes starts
We
on
got
the
seconds.
left.
That's hilarious.
There's a world where Xerxes starts on the left, bro, and
Really?
Hoyland starts up top. I'm telling you.
Oh, shout out Big Six Bants. Hoyland is ass. She's great. Bro,
Uh,
I listen, I'm Team Xerxes. Like I'm Team Xerxes for this. But
if I had to drop someone between Rashford and Hoyland, I would drop Rashford.
oh,
I would drop
okay.
Rashford from this team and play Xerxes. And Xerxes plays multiple positions. He can play on the 10.
You wouldn't do hold up. Okay, let's
Let's see
drop
what it
Rashford.
looks like if you put Xerxes left wing and put Hoyland up top. Would that
Okay.
feel better to you?
I would completely rework I would before I put Xerxes left, I would do like something like uh you know Ahmad left. Actually, hold on, let's put in Hoyland. I'd put in like Ahmad on the left. Oh, actually I should have put Xerxes. Okay, Xerxes. Yeah.
Do we need to overcomplicate it though? Do we need to do that? Because you don't think Xerxes can play on the left?
I haven't seen it. I genuinely haven't seen it. I've never seen him play on the. I've seen him play as a 10. I've seen him play as a 9. And if you've seen it, please correct me. I may have been
Because I think The Hoyland slander is so crazy. But no, I the Hoyland slander by
Bro,
our fan base is mad, man.
bro, that's so funny,
It's
bro.
so
Oh my
mad.
gosh. Oh my gosh, that's
Listen,
so
if
funny.
you take Rashford out, you still need someone that gets in behind. We've not
Yeah.
even talked about Garnacho at all. So
I know.
so well, this goes to show Ten Hag just has options, right? He has options to do something with this squad.
Hmm.
I don't mind Xerxes being on that left hand side, bro. I don't mind
Yeah,
his actually being on that left hand side because is he gonna do worse now? Is he gonna do worse now in Rashford?
probably
If
not.
anything, he's gonna work hard. Like, bro, like this is genuinely a conversation because this is one of the reasons why I wanted Cunha.
Yeah.
Because he
Well,
could
yeah,
play.
yeah, listen, I hear this one right here. Xerxes 6'4". I agree with this. Like, I just like I feel like you're taking away his main. I think you're when you play him out wide, you're taking away his biggest strength, which is the link play, right? Like
Oh,
you want him to,
you let him roam though. You let
yeah,
him
you let
roam.
him.
You
Yeah,
let
so
him roam
you let him drift a bit. You kind
because
of ghost in
he's
here
still
and all
gonna
that.
do that anyway. Because if Xerxes drifts, right? Okay, we're going to say we're gonna push Bruno Fernandez to go inside, right?
Hmm.
But you can still have Xerxes drift. Bruno Fernandez maintains his position. Or Hoyland is still going to be our outlet. So we will
Hmm.
retain. You have Diallo and
Hey,
Xerxes retaining
we're
possession
doing
for you
we're
in
doing a lot for
attack.
Hoyland right now. We're doing a lot for
Bro,
Hoyland right
listen,
now.
I'm talking about for the team, for the team, bro, for the team. Honestly, let's actually think about this logically. Like we both watch
All
football,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amad Diallo and Xerxes will retain possession for us.
Hmm.
100%. Hoyland is
Hmm.
your outlet. I
Hmm.
hear it. Xerxes is 6'4". You want to play him down the middle, and Rashford can be the outlet. But I am saying, because we're not going to replace Marcus Rashford this summer, what do you do if Marcus Rashford suddenly becomes another hindrance to our attack this season? Garnacho cannot play every game. You're going to say, okay, we can play Mount there. Is Mount any that much better than Xerxes on that left hand side?
I think Mount would be a better wide player than Xerxes. I do. I do. We've seen Mount.
We've
Like,
seen it, but
we've
like I
seen
haven't
it.
seen like I haven't like for me, I think we're going to see at some point Hoyland and Zexi play together this season.
I agree. I just think it'll be like pretend this is somebody else. I think it'll be like this if we see them play,
So
right?
what? Possibly.
I think Xerxes would play in that 10, and let's say in a big game, right? We want to maybe put, like I said, maybe put Bruno on the. You know, he likes to put Bruno on the right sometimes,
I
right?
think if we play a big game, we'll see Zexi and Bruno play that false nine, and we'll see Ahmad play on the right.
Mhm.
And oh man, Rashford
That's the
and
thing. It's like it
bro,
gets confusing. It gets
I
confusing.
need I need Rashford to just wake up this season, bro, because he's giving me he's stressing me out
Maybe play Bruno
because
on as left mid. I don't know.
I just don't see Bruno ever playing left mid for us.
Yeah, but I mean, he played right mid. He kind of does whatever he wants anyway, right?
He does.
You
But
know.
the problem we have really is just, and not to insult Ganacho because he can come into that left hand side and be an option for us as well. Even though I think he's better on the right from what I've seen him do because he's
Hmm.
just very direct. I think on the left hand side as a winger, you have to be a little bit cuter. And I don't think Ganacho sometimes is very transparent in what he's trying to do. Kind of like
Hmm.
Anthony a little bit, where
Yeah,
yeah, everybody knows you're gonna try and cut in on your left hand side, and you're not unstoppable. You're not like Mbappe, where sometimes you're unstoppable coming in to shoot on your right foot. So you need to be
hundred
smarter.
percent, hundred
So
percent.
let's see. I mean, listen, I don't. It's not as if I have a problem. I don't have a problem Hoyland being dropped, but he's going to play games this season because Xerxes needs to adjust to the Premier League as well.
Mm.
So people need to just get comfortable with seeing Rasmus Højlund start. But Xerxes is going to get his opportunity because Højlund is injured right now. So let's put Rashford on the left and see that front three because Højlund is injured and Xerxes is probably going to be the one leading the line for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. So we'll have Rashford, and then we'll replace Hoyland with Bruno, and yeah, that's
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
that's
Yeah.
that's that's the team. I think
That
this is
looks that
what
looks that looks good, man. That looks good to me. I don't
I think
mind
that's what
that.
we're gonna see.
Uh,
I
I
think
don't
that's what
mind
we're gonna
that.
see.
I really don't mind that. Like, what are we saying, chat? Like, I think that's a decent little squad, man. To build off of too, which is the good part. Like, if this is your foundation going into a season, listen, we're not winning the league, right? But if this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
your
yeah.
if this is a base for Ineos to start
This
with,
is a very good base to start. Like, okay, where can we add world class quality to take us to the next level? And for
hmm
me, it's like it's really, I won't say down the spine, but some key areas. I think long term, our centre back partnership will be Euro and Brainsworth. I think we might get another goalkeeper, for instance. Maybe you can go for a Diogo. Is it Diogo Carlos, the FC
hmm
Porto goalkeeper,
hmm
and we can improve on Marcus Rashford on the left wing. Like long term, who would you say would be your left wing target to replace Marcus? Because I think we're going to need to replace him because he's just so inconsistent.
Yeah, no, listen, I've been saying we need a starting left winger for I don't know how long. I've been saying it since 2021. So I don't know. I haven't thought about it because I just that's a good question, honestly. I
I
don't
have one player in mind, bro, and I think it can almost
it,
work if things fall
I'm
into
I'm
place.
interested. I'm interested.
Okay,
Who is
I don't
it?
know. Javier Stelia.
I was literally I
That's my
didn't
number one.
that was the one that was literally it. That was literally it. That was the one I was gonna say. So yeah,
Some cash and send over Mount to Conte because I'm sure Conte probably still loves Mount. Send him over to Conte with cash and bring him in and give him the number seven.
mm,
And let's
mm.
cook. I think he just looks like a Manchester United winger.
Yeah,
Like,
no, he's a proper player. He's a proper player. He's
you
a
know,
proper player. He's better than
he
Marcus. He's better than
for,
Marcus.
oh
Let's be
yeah,
real.
he
Come
gives
on.
me. And listen, I didn't grow up watching George Best, but he gives me George Best vibes. Just the way
Mm.
he looks,
It's
the hair, and
the looks.
everything.
Yeah,
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 I really
yeah.
think he could be a player for us, franchise player for us. Our number seven, bring him
hmm
in. That's the kind of players that for us we need to go to the next level where we can compete to win Champions Leagues, league titles. Right now, this is a good base. This is a team that should finish top four. Let's
mm
be real. Let's be real. That should be the expectation.
Right.
But we need maybe three, four world class players to come into this for us to win the title.
Yeah, yeah. We do, absolutely. And that's interesting, man, because I think that like you said, what Ineos are doing, I really hope that they just keep on doing the same. Let's keep all of the players we buy to the under 75 million. I think that should be I don't want us to sign a 150 million pound player until it's like the time is right. Build the
Yeah, yeah,
floor
yeah.
of the squad up, build it up. Then you go big game hunting. We were going big game hunting and we had no apple in
We
our
had no
pie.
squad. We
Like,
had no
yeah,
foundation. So, for
yeah.
example, if you sell someone like Marcus Rashford, you are within your rights to go buy another big player because you
hmm
sold, quote unquote, a
You're
big player.
yeah.
So I just don't think we should have the patience anymore for him after this season. I like him. I don't have like people talk about the off-field stuff. I don't have any
hmm
issues with him off-field.
Yeah, I
I
have zero
just
issues with the
think
outfield.
the expectation. I just don't think he can carry it. I just don't think he's that kind of player. And unfortunately, we've made him to be our franchise player, giving him number 10, and he's not. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens this season. I'm hoping he has a good season. But something
yeah.
tells me that come December, Garnacho is going to bench him.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's interesting. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think Ten Hag lasts past December. Yeah, man. I would I have them finishing third, so that would mean that Ten Hag is doing well. Or we crash out. Maybe we're in fifth place. Maybe we're in
Yeah.
fifth place. He gets fired and we go on an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer run with Rude. Right. Maybe that happens,
Do you
but
think that's possible? Because I do have a feeling because it's so weird seeing Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was an actual
I
manager,
think
being a
I think
coach. at United.
I don't think this is a hot take, but I genuinely think Rude is going to replace him, like at some point. I
Hmm.
think that's who they're touting as their next guy. I do, because that's not like a you don't put Rude Van Nistelrooy next to your manager. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like in especially one who's on the ropes, who's shaky, because you know how that perception is. You know, I don't think they would do that unless there was a legit belief that they think Rude could take the mantle at some point
I
if
would
needed.
love a situation where Ten Hag finishes his contract. He gets fourth place, wins us the Europa League. We go into the next season, get top four again and finish third place. And he finishes up his contract, and then Ruud van Nistelrooy takes over and completes the Ineos job. Goes for the
Mhm,
Premier League title. I don't want
mhm.
it to be another chaotic situation where we have a shit season, then Ruud van Nistelrooy gets into the hot seat.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I don't want that to be what happens.
He won't be in the hot seat though. I don't think he'd be in the hot seat. He wouldn't be.
It's Manchester United, man. You're always in the hot seat. You're always
I
gonna be in the hot
mean,
seat.
like even with Ali, like Ali wasn't under any real pressure, when he first got the interim job. It's gonna, I don't think there's gonna be legitimate pressure. Just get Nagelsmann in, I think he meant. And you predicted fourth, right, Brian?
Yeah, fourth place for me. Fourth place
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I
So
just think Villa this season with the Champions League are going to be distracted. I don't think they're going to have. It's very draining on the players mentally and emotionally when you're in Champions League for the first time. It's a lot. We saw
mhm,
what happened to Newcastle last season.
mhm,
So I think there's going to be a lot on their plate. I don't know if their squad can handle it.
mhm.
So I think we might see a drop off from them. Liverpool, new coach. It'd be very impressive if he gets top four in his first season, in my opinion. People are saying, oh, the squad is fantastic. The squad is fantastic. That same fantastic squad finished third place with Klopp. Like,
Right.
put that into perspective. So, I think there's some weaknesses. Tottenham, I think teams are going to get used to Ange's tactics.
Mm.
And, he plays only one way. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't, people always just assume and they're like, oh, well, these teams are just going to fly away with it. And it's never like that.
Mm.
It's never
Yeah, I
like that.
agree. I agree. I think, and like I said, I like Ange. I don't. I think got a lot of. The hype got a little too much, in my opinion, because he doesn't have a plan B, and that for me that's a major red flag personally. Um,
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
yeah, I think
Mason Mount.
this is probably how we line up. Um,
It's against Fulham.
against Fulham. I think this will be the lineup. I really
Yeah.
do. Um, and this should get us 3 points. I think where we've faltered is we've just been, and this to answer your question, Jake. Do you think come Friday there's still gaps in the midfield, or does he drop the line
No.
and play more conservative? No, I think if he
No.
plays with this spine of four in midfield, there's enough legs in there. With these three right here, there's enough legs where we can cover for him, right?
Yeah.
So
The key for me against Fulham is taking our chances, especially early on. If we can put them under pressure, win the ball back early, go 2-0 in halftime, game is over.
yeah,
Game is
I hope
over.
you're right. I hope you're right about that.
That's
Just
what we need to
watch
do.
Ten Hag bench Ahmad for Garnacho. I
Ain't
hope
no
not.
way. There is no chance he's that stupid.
I thought about this.
There's no way he's
I,
that stupid.
I have been thinking about this, and it's been in the back of my mind. Like, what if he does that?
I am almost 99% sure he's not going to do it because Ahmad is our best player. And listen, it's just a simple thing. Ganacho is 19 or 20 years old now. He can come in and be that impact player for you. Listen, if you go into this game, I think Ahmad is going to have a good game. I think Menu is going
Well,
to start
absolutely.
showing some more form. I think Bruno is going to be good because he's going to be feeling good after his new contract. This is just be very optimistic. I
Hmm.
think we're going to have a good game. I think we're going to be like 2-0 in at halftime. Then you can bring in Garnacho for Rashford. And he can just run against tired legs and you end up winning the game 3-0 or something like that.
That's when he's at his best. That's when he's at his best right now.
Yeah,
At this stage in his career, I think we overplayed him last season, and it kind of showed a lot of his weaknesses. But if he's running against tired legs, come on, I
bro,
think
you're not
he's
catching Ganacho. We've seen him do this against Barcelona. Like he is good at that. Just use him at that until he's ready to start.
mhm.
Just don't overcomplicate it. And I don't think Ten Hag is going to do that to himself because he's played Ahmad almost every game in preseason. It'll be very
Yeah,
surprising if he drops him.
yeah. No, I agree. So I think we'll use the last like 5 minutes to just talk individual awards. So who is going to be our top goal scorer this year? What are you predicting?
Oh man, I'm gonna back my boy. I'm gonna back my boy Erasmus. I think Erasmus will
Mm,
score the most goals for us this season. I think he, all things going well. He got 10 Premier League goals next season. My target for him would be maybe 15, 17. 15 on the lower end, 17, 18 at the upper end. 20 will be crazy. I don't think he can hit
This is in
20.
the Premier League, right?
Yeah, because he's going to be rotated. So I don't think he can hit 20. I think 15 would be a good number for him. All comps, 20 will be great. All comps, 20, 22, 23. If you can pick up that in his second season, will be good. So for me, he'll be our top scorer.
Mm,
Top creator, Amad Diallo will be our top
mm,
creator this season, taking
mm,
over from Bruno Fernandes, who is still going to create a lot, but I still think Ahmad is going to have such a surprising season.
mm.
Best player, hmm, I'm going to go Kobe Mano.
Okay.
Kobe Mano,
Okay.
yeah. I
I'm
think
not
he'll be our
mad
best
with.
player.
So okay. What if the performance is similar to Wolves and we get outplayed by a wide margin with scrape a win? Then I will be absolutely terrified. I will be miserable. I will not be able to sleep that night if that's what happens. Friday night, if
Oh
that's what
my
happens.
days.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm going to
Ah,
Ashake is coming to DC. So right after the game, I'm going to that concert. I'm excited for that. So
the
yeah,
good news
maybe
is that
that,
it's a Friday night. You can just get
yeah,
a drink,
yeah.
wake up
Hopefully
late on
I can.
Saturday and watch some more football and then forget
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. Hopefully, I can go into that concert with in good spirits. So, but yeah, no, I think top goal scorer is going to be Bruno Fernandez. Um, I think I agree with the creator. I think Amad Diallo will lead be our best playmaker, whatever you want to call it. Um, and then I think our best player will also be Amad Diallo. I think he's going to win Player of the Season. I
Hmm,
think this is
that's not a
his.
bad shout. It's not a
I
bad
think this
shout.
is his year to break out. He's just primed for it. Like he's been waiting for this. It kind of, in a weird way, it kind of feels like, but different, like Saliba.
Hmm.
How they kind of,
They sent him out on
they
loan
sent him
and
out
didn't
on
really have him
loan
part of the
and
team,
yeah, he wasn't
right?
really in and around it. So I think this is his breakout year, right? Where he announces himself that, I'm a top four type of player. I'm a Champions League quality player. So yeah, I just see a big season for him. Um, and I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right about this. I really do. I think Bruno's gonna have. I thought he was miserable last season. I'm with
He
Bruno.
was
You know
poor.
that.
Yeah,
I thought
I
he
agree.
was. I thought he was poor. I think he will revert back to maybe he could have his best season. Maybe I'm getting a giddy. Maybe I'm getting giddy. Maybe I'm feeling good. But I just see if Ten Hag gets the team shape right, I think Bruno could have a good season. I just how I feel about him.
I think
I maybe
Zexi will have a huge part in that as well.
mhm. I think Xerxes will enable him to score more goals.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my logic.
Do
I
you know what
think
I'm hoping for? I'm hoping, and this hasn't happened to us since Robin van Persie, where, and I don't think Xerxes that is that kind of striker that's going to score 20, 25 Premier League goals or something like that. But I would love an attacker to just come in and just go crazy.
Go bonkers, yeah.
Just go crazy. Like, we didn't have that with Hoyland, but it would be great to have him come in, Xerxes come in and just go boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
What did Lukaku do? I think Lukaku had like 20 something goals his first season
I think 16 or so Premier League
in
goals.
Premier League, and then all comps it
All
was
comes to do 2024 or something like that.
yeah, yeah. So that would be great. But again, these are young players, so it's trickier. Lukaku is obviously much more
That's why,
established.
man. Tony, let's go. Let's get Ivan Tony, man. Let's.
Ivan Tony, listen, Ivan Tony would have been my first striker option this summer. If we can get bro, if we get Ivan Tony, don't even honestly, I put that in the back of my mind. I don't want to think about that one because if we get Ivan Tony, man, oh my god.
Temi is gonna go crazy. He's gonna say some outlandish, crazy
I'm
stuff,
gonna
man.
go crazy, bro. If we get Ivan Tony, bro, oh no, bro. Bro, I think after Erling Haaland, I genuinely think he's right there as the best striker in the league.
If
I
we get
really believe
Ivan
that.
Tony, I would go from being hopeful to being like, yeah, we're gonna do
We're
some
getting top
serious stuff
four.
this year.
We're getting
Yeah,
top four. Like who's in your like who's better? Who's better than him outside of Erling Haaland as a striker in the league? I Isak.
Isak.
Um,
Yeah,
I listen. I like Isak, but I think I take Tony over him. I really would. I really would. Um, Xerxes will win over the fan base, and Hoyland will slowly become dead weight. I don't know if it has to
why
be
did
either.
you
Or. I don't know if
why
it has
did
to
you do
be
my
either
boy
or.
like this?
Yeah, man.
Why did you
Listen,
do my boy like this?
I don't rate him either. But again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm
He
wrong.
Do you guys realize Hoyland is one of our franchise players for the Manchester United? They put him in all the ad campaigns. They him, Mainu, Ganacho, all three of them together.
Oh yeah, they're definitely the
Guys,
most. They're popular. The young
they're
boys are
popular.
popular.
So he's not gonna become dead weight. If anything, he'll just be a bench player for Manchester United for a while. That worst case
No,
scenario, which is not a bad bench player to have, if I'm being totally
no,
honest with you.
no.
Okay.
I
So I think Xerxes will be good. If you're bringing Hoyland off the bench with that pace in behind, we saw
could
him
be a
in
threat.
tail end of last season. He can be effective.
Mm.
So, man, we'll see. Man. I'm at the point where I'm just like, okay, I'm done with the talking. Let's see what we do on the
That's what we
pitch.
can do. 100%. And I think that's a perfect way to put a bow on this, man. Excited about the season. We've gone through a very interesting summer. I think it's been a good summer for us overall. I think
Yeah,
it's been a very positive summer. Something we can take. And I think the fan base is really excited because, there's a lot to look forward to. Genuinely, there's still some holes that need to be fixed, obviously in the squad, but
midfield. Yeah.
yeah, in midfield. But I think other than that, man, I think we have the makings of something. We really do. I think we have the makings of something. So we'll see what
Ineos,
happens, man.
go crazy. Last few weeks of the window, Brian Smith and Ivan Tony. Let's go crazy. But
Reset over 100 million in center backs in one window would be crazy.
yo, listen, we need it with the draws that we had playing for us, bro. Listen, we need it.
Listen, no, I
So
hear
for
it. I hear
me,
it.
I'm excited right now. For me, window is a 7 out of 10. We
Mhm.
get that midfielder bumps up to an 8. We get Ivan Tony is like a 9. Yeah, Brian Twaite is a 10. There's no complaining there. That's just
Mhm.
it. So I'm excited.
Mhm.
Come Friday, I think hopefully we have a good result.
Hell yeah, man. And guys, be on the lookout for content on Friday. So I'm gonna be doing them. I can't do a watch along because I'll be working, but just be on the lookout for a match reaction right after the game. So, just be on the lookout for that. Saturday we'll be making some content as well. I'll try and do a live stream for one of the I think Chelsea and City play um
Uh, let's see.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think Chelsea and City are this
They
weekend. So,
play on Sunday. Chelsea Man City is the last game, 11:30 Eastern.
mhm. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So probably do a watch along for that. So be on the lookout. But yeah, man, we appreciate everyone who joined from Flawless's channel. Really appreciate y'all. guys, make sure to hit the like button, hit the
Hit the
subscribe
likes,
button.
guys. Hit the likes,
Yeah,
guys.
we're
Temi
pushing.
is putting up some work, so 2 streams
Yeah,
today.
yeah, man. We're doing some work, man. So hopefully we can get to 500 subs here soon and keep pushing, man. Make sure to follow Brian on Twitter. He's really big on Twitter, TikTok. What's your TikTok? You want to plug your TikTok real quick?
Yeah, just at Professor Fragrance on TikTok. If you like fragrances and men's style, men's fashion, I talk about a lot of that stuff. So
Yep, yep,
yeah.
yep, yep. So make sure to follow Brian on TikTok, follow him on Twitter. Appreciate you, bro, as always. I'll try and get Brian on sometime next week, if I can. So yeah, man. Appreciate it. And guys, hit the like button. We'll talk soon, all right? See ya.
Peace.